Yeah, ready.
Yeah, okay. Jillian, Terceira, you've concluded your outdoor season. Can you sum it up for me? What's the competition been like? What have you gained from this year's outdoor season, and what you're looking forward to going into indoor, and of course, trying to qualify for Commonwealth?
Well, I've had a good summer season outdoors. I've had Tyler Lopes here kind of under my wing and just getting some international experience going for him. So kind of had sidetracked or sort of put myself second for a little bit this summer. And my Grand Prix horse that I had at the Pan American Games and the World Equestrian Games is already 17 this year, so he didn't sort of run every week at every competition. So it was a good summer to just focus a bit more on sort of bringing up Tyler and getting us on track for qualifying for the Central American and Caribbean Games, which will be next year, end of July, August in Colombia. And just sort of looking forward in the winter time to just getting those sort of international miles under our belt, and then we have a qualifying which will be in Wellington, Florida for the CAC Games, which will be qualifying for Bermuda to get to the Colombian Games, to get to the actual Caribbean Games. And first time hoping to get a team together, getting a show jumping team together from Bermuda, so that's exciting.
What would you say would be the highlight for you? And then we'll talk about Tyler afterwards. Well, what's been your highlight this summer season?
Pretty much was bringing up a few of the younger horses. I have two very good 7-year-olds and an 8-year-old that have now started in the sort of the bigger classes, the 1 meter 40 classes, and getting some good red ribbons and some good rounds and good experience. So that's kind of been a highlight, is sort of stepping back from the Grand Prix for the summer and bringing up the younger horses to produce them to Grand Prix horses.
And obviously, Tyler, you've watched him progress. He's been there for a little while now. How has he grown being around show jumping full time?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that's sort of the key. It's, full-time focus, full-time concentration, sort of giving up sort of home life to come over to the other side of the pond, to Europe, and really put 110% effort into it. And, he's been doing great. He started in sort of the smaller sort of 1 meter 10 classes, and now he's up to 1 meter 30 and really, being competitive and doing well.
How does this set you guys up for that qualification in Wellington, Florida? Because when you still have to travel, it's just like going to have to travel to the CAC games later next year. So how does this set you up? The travel that you guys have been doing to Portugal, to up and down Belgium, in the Netherlands.
Well, it's great. I mean, it's a great experience sort of for both of us as riders, just to sort of get into different rings, different surfaces, grass, sand, different venues, different size of arenas. It's always great to sort of compete wherever you can, so that hopefully we'll be on track for the qualifying in January in Florida. The date has not been announced yet, so we're thinking it's around the beginning of the year. Obviously, we don't have the funds sort of to get our horses there, to fly our horses from Europe, so I'll be investigating to borrow some horses or to lease some horses that we can get this qualifying under our belt.
What would you say for you over the years has been the most challenging thing? Small ring with or larger ring, grass or sand?
I would have to say probably grass, just because depending on weather conditions, it can, the first person that jumps can have a completely different surface than the last person that jumps, depending on rain, depending on sun, depending how much, sort of turf gets chewed up from where the horses take off and land. So I think grass is definitely more difficult, and very often grass arenas are not completely flat, so they also can have a little bit hilly surface, and that's very difficult. The sand arenas are usually much more even and level, and it's a sort of a more even playing field.
Okay.
Tyler,
No problem.
you've been with Jillian for quite some time now. So tell us a bit about the experience you've had up until this point. You've had a challenging outdoor season, but tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, I've been here 7 months, and honestly, it's been pretty incredible. Yeah, like you guys said a little bit earlier, being over here full time is a completely different ballgame. One thing I have struggled really quite a lot with is is my mental strength, because riding is a lot mental, and you don't realize that until you're over here doing it full time, you know. So that's probably been my biggest struggle, is training my mind to not be distracted all the time, or to really keep focus. And then also, you know, I've had to brush up on a lot of basics that I've been, you know, making quite silly mistakes for a lot of years now. So I honestly feel like I've had to almost relearn how I ride, you know, and yeah, in a positive way, yeah, because I had a lot of bad habits, so hopefully we've gotten rid of some of them. And honestly, there's not a day I haven't been here where I haven't learned something new. So for me, it's this you know, this was the only option if this is what I want to do. So I'm glad that I have done it.
No, you're quite young, and you've made a sacrifice, and you've challenged yourself to take on this huge momentous task of trying to qualify for CAC, doing this full time. What would you say to other youngsters that are in your position, young and looking to do something? It doesn't even have to be within the sport of equestrian, but just young, wanting to try and make it to the next level.
I mean, for sure, you need to go for it and really work hard at it, you know, because anything is possible. I mean, I'm not going to lie. When I came over here 7 months ago and she told me that this qualifier was in January and it was, you know, the height that it is, I immediately had a thought in the back of my mind, well, that's not possible. And, you know, having been here for 7 months and really put my mind to it and worked hard at it, it has completely become possible, you know. So, you know, you always hear people tell you work hard and your goals will come, and that is 100% true. You know, the harder you work at it and the more you want it, the more possible it becomes, and you reach, you know, levels and you overcome obstacles that you never thought you could, you know. So I'm very pleased with the progress that I've made, and, you know, other young people should know that it is completely possible for them to pursue, you know, what they want to do in whatever sport it may be.
How much have you missed being in Bermuda, jumping, riding, and especially harness racing? Because you've missed most of that. Are you looking forward to being able to get in touch with these guys that are here, to see how they're tracking you and obviously getting on the season?
Yeah, I mean, you have to make those sacrifices, you know. There's some days I don't think about them at all, and there's other days I miss certain things about it. You know, obviously with the harness racing season coming up, I see, you know, people are posting things about that, and I've had a few people calling me for advice and stuff like that, you know. So it gets you thinking, it gets you missing it a little bit, but at the end of the day, this is what I've wanted to do since I was 5 years old, you know. So for me, it was well worth the sacrifices that I've had to make.